Hello, welcome to my Tampa Bay Comic-Con haul. Now, I went to... Shoot. Sorry about that. I dropped some stuff on the floor. I went to Tampa Bay Comic-Con today, and I purchased some stuff, and I got some signatures. I'll get to the signatures in a moment, but I want to show off the books I got today. I got first issue special number 7 featuring The Creeper, one of my favorite characters in comics. My single trade I bought today, The Torch by Alex Ross. Justice Inc. Volume 2, Number 1 by Andrew Helfer, the guy who doomed the Titan series in the 2000s. The Question, Annual number 2. I know I had in number 1, so I figured I want to get number 2. I love this freaking series. I also got a few other books, and these I picked up from a few of these books. Let's see, before I get to my books, I got the other books. The other books I picked up these are from other stops. I got, I think this is the first special, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the price tag is covering up, so I couldn't tell which one it was. Okay. This is not the first special. Once I put it back in the book, I will explain it. This is Sword of the Atom special number 3. I thought I picked number 1, but it's okay. It's only number 3. Now, I picked up, let's see, before I get to those books. I also picked up Hawk and Dove, Volume 2, Issues 17 and 18. I don't know if I have these issues or not. I love Hawk and Dove. I'm a huge fan of Steve Ditko. Now, I picked up 4 comics from the Coliseum Comics stuff because I had like a card, so I got them stamped for them. Plus, I've been to the store last year for free comic, that's why I got the card. So, this year and last year, I made sure for a fact I went to the Coliseum Comics thing, so I can at least get the card stamp. I picked up Howard the Duck number 7. My only Howard the Duck book I did not have, by Chris Sardesky. Facebook friends with this guy, so I figured, I buy the entire run. I own pretty much every single issue that's been released so far, as of right now, except for issue 9, that issue just came out last week. Not this past week, but last week. I also picked up Green Arrow, Volume 6, Number 1. Batman Volume 3, Number 1. And I should probably get issue 1 soon. Nightwing Volume 4, Number 1. Those ones I picked up. There were a few books I did also pick up while I was there, but I got them signed too. Alright, books I got signed. A few of these I purchased at the con, so to get them signed. Okay, just to let you know. I got, if I can hold these steady, I got Justice League Task Force number 8 and Spider-Man 2099 Volume 1 number 4, autographed by their writers, Peter David. Yep. Alright, I got, let's see here. Where's the other one? There it is. I got Swamp Thing number 86 and 87 and Batman the Cult number 1, autographed by Bernie Wright's son. For the Swamp Thing issues, even though he had nothing to do with these 2 issues, he is the co-creator of Swamp Thing, so I had him sign these 2 books. And the first issue, Batman the Cult. I spoke to him at the con, and I told him I really love the Cult series. So I figured, though, I tell him that, and he was very happy with it. The Peter David ones, I spoke to him about like how much I enjoy a lot of his books that he writes. I didn't particularly say that, but I told him that I referred to Death of Jean DeWolf as one of the greatest Spider-Man stories ever told, and he was quite happy with that. Like, I also talked to him about Spider-Man 29. Like, I asked him, like, did he ever ask Stan Lee what he ever thought of the character? He never gave much thought, but he's probably going to ask. That's my guess is what he's going to do. I did ask Bernie Wright's son what it was like to work with Len Wein. He said it was pure fun to work with Len Wein. Yeah. So these are guys being honest. Okay. I got Rags Morales to sign this, and he only drew 6 pages in this, and I asked him what was it like to work, because he also did work in Action Comics when New 52 relaunch happened. I asked him about Grant Morrison. He said he was kind of a weird guy to work with, and these are his words. And he says he did enjoy working on this, even though his feature is only 6 pages long. I'm hoping to get the other people who wrote this, the other people who did this book, to sign it. Can't you stay there? Anyways, I got Dan Jorgensen signing this. It was awesome to meet the guy. We talked a little bit about Booster Gold. We talked a lot about the character Doomsday. Talked about a lot of stuff. I even asked him what was behind the concept of this character. Apparently, he's kind of based upon an Olympic gold medalist from 1984. Well, apparently, he got in trouble for corporate sponsorship, so he kind of used that as kind of the basis. He might correct me if he sees this video about that, but it's summarizing what he said, but it's not exactly word for word, but it was a blast. I also did ask him why this particular volume ended at 25 issues. He says that the direct market sales were fine, but the newsstand sales were terrible. That's the reason why this book was canceled at issue 25. This is according to him, and I figured though he'd be the best person to ask about this because he was working on the book at the time, so I figured though why not ask him about it. It was nice to meet the guy too. Now, these next 3 books are the Micronaut books. Now, this one I got autographed by Michael Golden and Jim Shooter. Love listening to this guy, Jim Shooter. He's so interesting talking about stuff. Now, I did talk about Micronauts with Michael Golden, and he says that I did bring up to him about Micronauts coming back, and he says that he kind of knows about like he actually did the variant cover for the first issue of the new Micronauts series. He also brought up that J.J. Abrams is trying to get a film off the ground for Micronauts. He said it was actually okay to work with Bill Mantlo. But he said he also did the covers for the original Rom the Space Knight series. So yeah. Shooter, man, it was nice to meet Shooter. I was kind of surprised when I saw him originally. When I saw him that he was going to appear he was coming to this comic, I'm like, I have to get some stuff for him to sign because I got a lot of respect for this guy. Oh, there's like one book here I'm missing. I don't. Yeah, he also signed this as well. Let's see. Do I have it here? No, I don't. There's one book I forgot I got in my backpack. There it is. We talked about Bill Mantlo. We talked about Doug Moak, though he says it's according to him. He says Moak actually Moak. I think it's a German last name, so it's kind of hard to pronounce. And according to him, basically Moak is not the correct pronunciation of the guy's last name, but he does know what I'm talking about. It's a common misinterpretation of the guy's last name. I asked him about Moon Knight, about Micronauts, of how it was Bill Mantlo's idea to get the Micronauts, of how he spoke to Jim Shooter about this, that he really wanted to do this. So Jim talked to Stan Lee, and Stan Lee talked to, I think it was maybe Hasbro who had the rights to them at the time. I don't know. It might have been Hasbro who had the license to them, get the license to them, and that's like at the comic. And he also mentioned, we also talked a little about Rom. He says that anybody's curious, whoever did the cover for issue 1 for Rom, it was Frank Miller. Frank Miller did the cover. Michael Golden did several of the covers for the series, and he even did a variant for the new Rom series. And when I told him that Rom kept this over-the-top speech, over-the-top dialogue Bill Mantlo gave him, he was kind of happy with that. So, if I ever get a chance to sit down with him, like personally, one-on-one, he'll probably be an interesting guy to listen to. Because asking him these questions about stuff, it was so interesting to talk to the guy. This got signed by Bob Layton. I figured, though, why not have him sign this? He did create War Machine. He did create the Identity War Machine. He created Rhodey. But we talked about Valiant. We talked a little about Iron Man. A lot of the stuff we talked was like we talked a little mostly about the character Rhodey and Iron Man himself, and we even talked about Valiant Comics. He says he enjoyed founding the company. He even talked about the group who basically who actually helped finance the company. Apparently, there's some investor group who actually doesn't say investment for too long. Like, once they got $9 billion, they pulled out. Yeah, and even he agrees. He even says that Valiant being bought out by Acclaim was probably one of the worst things that ever happened to them. And too bad enough, the company went out of business a few years later. Now, I did talk to him about what After the Debris said, that Jim Shooter got fired because of... I had heard he got fired when the company was getting good. According to him, that's completely untrue. He got fired because he had disagreement with the with some upper management people. He had disagreement with them, so that's why he got fired. And Layton said he is going to be meeting... I asked him what do you think of the current incarnation of Valiant. I did ask also Jim Shooter about this too. He says he doesn't have an actual opinion. Layton loves the current incarnation of Valiant. And he says that that one of the people who actually owns it actually met him. He actually met one of the owners when he was 11 years old. Met him at Comic-Con several years ago. So it was nice to meet Layton and Shooter. It was nice to meet them both. Yeah. He does have not some nice things to say about Shooter, but I'm not going to say anything bad about Shooter because I do respect the guy for basically Valiant Comics, and he's a nice guy to listen to. I have nothing against Shooter at all. Yeah, I had him sign these. Alright. Now this one I had signed by two different people, like that one Micronauts issue. This one's signed by the two artists who did these issues. Sean Chen and Kawai Pam, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. I got them both to sign this because I own this. I've had this thing for like 6 years now, and I figured though, since they were there at Comic-Con, and I figured though, even though Sean Chen basically is known for doing some Iron Man issues, but I saw the fact that he had done this, and he was going to be at Comic-Con, so I got him to sign it, and I got the other guy to sign it too. I actually asked Pachon about the Unspoken. Basically, it was actually Dan's idea to basically create this character, and I even brought up the fact that he was brought back by that Fraction for Inhumanity and Charles Schultz's Inhuman series, and he was kind of surprised about that, the fact that this character was brought back. But it was nice to meet the guys. Yep. This one I had signed by the artist. He also was the one who did Civil War. I had him sign this, and he says he did do this cover, and he did. We talk about a little bit about Charles Schultz. He says he's actually a blast to work with, and I mentioned to him on Facebook Friends with him, and he was like kind of surprised about that, but he's quite happy too. But this was a pleasure to get him sign this. I'm hoping eventually to get the other people who worked on this book to get them to sign it because I enjoyed this book. I really did. And I did speak to him about the original Civil War event, like about the covers. That was actually editorial's idea for the covers to be that way for the original Civil War event. And I also told I didn't necessarily have a problem with the original Civil War event. I liked it. I didn't love it. I know it had its problems. Even he probably agreed with that too. But I brought up like the whole like in between panel thing with Cap just motioning his face the way it is. He didn't have much of an opinion about that anyways. But yeah, nice to you guys. Now this one I had a conversation with this guy. I had to make sure because I knew he was going to be there, and I knew he was going to charge me $30 for an autograph because he's actually one of 3 people I saw who was charging money for autographs. Though he was most expensive one. Might go and charge $5. I did get a chance to meet Jimmy Hart and Amanda Connor, even though that they were probably free to get an autograph from them. But here was the problem. There was a long line. It would take me about 2 or 3 hours waiting in that line. I didn't know where the heck it started. Like I thought that was kind of a short line. Long line. I have never seen it where the past 3 years I've gone to this con where usually a line is that long because of food. That's usually the reason why. But I have never seen it where it's that freaking long. Never. George Perez, I want to get stuff signed by him, but apparently he had to pull a number in order to get an autograph from him and a sketch. I was not looking forward to a sketch, but I was looking forward to his autograph. So I did get a chance to meet him. Ron Marsh was there, the guy who did that controversial story with the whole Major Force, the whole thing with the Emma Twilight story, stuff like that, the Witch Play, Silver Surfer. I didn't have anything for him to sign. I wanted to have stuff signed by him, but everything was signed. Now, Leighton, she also mentioned he was there last year. I didn't have anything signed from him. But when I saw the fact it was coming back this year, I'm like, I had to get something for him to sign. And I figured, though, he created War Machine. So, where's that book? Where are you? Just had it here. Here it is. So, prior to the con, I went to my local comic shop and I bought this War Machine book, and I had to make sure that he signed something. So I got him to sign this, and he was very happy to sign that book. This book was signed by Neil Adams, an artist I was looking forward to seeing. He did not remember me. I asked him if he remembered me. He said no. Okay, fine. I tried to give him little hints, but he probably sees hundreds of people anyways. I did mention to him. I did listen to Kevin's podcast of like how the origin of this particular character. I even asked him about Man-Bat. Now, he did explain to me about the whole concept of Man-Bat. They need some sort of like scientific foil, I think it is. Neil Adams can probably correct me on this. But he says that the kind of like what was behind. I asked him what was behind the concept of the character Man-Bat. I figured out asking him be the best because he was there and he basically created the character. Now, according to Frank Miller Ribbons is credited for co-creating Man-Bat. It was all Neil Adams. He's the one. He clearly pointed out to me that he was the one who created Man-Bat. Frank Miller Ribbons, basically, he would just give it to him just writing for a story. Even he admits that's quite strange. But, yeah, so I'm like some kind of Batman fanboy. Basically, yeah, kind of like his origin story in a way. But he's a unique character to develop for Batman, and I freaking enjoy Man-Bat. He's one of my favorite characters. I did see there at the con, someone was selling the original Man-Bat #1, the one that came out in the 70s. The problem was they were charging $10 for it. I'm like, no thank you. I'll get the book later on eventually, because I love this character. He's one of those handful of characters who's not that well known. I really love them. This, I knew for a fact that he created this character. Well, co-created anyways. Now, I did bring it to that it was kind of his editor's idea for this character, but he kind of corrected me on it. That he did create this character. It was his editor who came up with the name Ra's al Ghul. It was his editor's idea for the name. So you kind of think it may have been Joe Schwartz. I don't know who was the editor at that point, but it was his editor who came up with the name. Basically, Neil basically created the character along with Denny. But yeah, I know it's a 3D cover, but yeah, I'm not sure who did this book, but I had to be sure. This is actually I own this. I own 2 copies of this book. I own it in the regular printed book and this 3D cover thing. This book, even the back cover is that way too. Yeah, he didn't have a problem signing this. He just he probably did not want to ruin the picture, like sign like up here or probably on the side. He basically signed it right here on the bottom. Even he knew, as an artist, don't put the signature in front of the in front of the character. And this book was done by, if I can open up this book. Yeah, this is the first printing, in case you're wondering. This book was done by James Tynion IV. Okay, he's the one who did this book. And it was Gleason who did the cover. So I'm going to have to get a bunch of people to sign this book. I'm going to hopefully save this book. One of my goals is to get Denny O'Neil to sign some of my books, because I own a good chunk of books basically that are written by Denny O'Neil. So eventually I'm going to get a chance to get him to sign this book. So get Denny O'Neil to sign this, because got Neil Adams sign it. Okay. Got Neil to sign it. So I wanted to get Denny to sign it too. I also want James Tynion IV to sign it, because he'd write this issue, and Patrick Gleason, a bunch. I want to get this be full of signatures. That's my goal when it comes to this one. If I find that Man-Bat one shot, I'm gonna try. If I don't think Frank Ribbons is still alive, but whoever did that issue, I'm gonna get other people to sign it as well, like some other books. Yeah, nice to actually get Neil to sign this. He was very happy. Like I knew that he created the character, but when I saw him last year, I was kind of surprised that he charged money for an autograph. But it's Neil Adams. But he's the only one I've ever seen who actually charges a lot for his signature. Probably, of all the comic creators who actually do charge money, this year was only 3 people I saw who actually charged money for autographs. It was him, Chad Hayden, and Michael Golden, the one charge autographs. Neil was $30. Chad and Michael were $5 piece. I did pay the $5 to get Michael Golden's autograph, but I had no cash on. I barely had any cash on me to pay for the autograph by Chad Hayden. So even though you had the creative team of Harley Quinn there, Minka wasn't there, but I just did not get a chance to get him signed because I didn't have enough money to pay for a signature. I would have loved to get his signature along with Jimmy Palmer and Amanda Connors, but Chad, money was the reason why I couldn't. I don't know if he took credit card or not. I did not know that. I don't know if he did or not. Jimmy Palmer and Amanda Connor, long line. George Perez pulled number thing, which I thought that was kind of crazy, but I actually had a great time this year at Comic-Con. Also this year, I did not get, once again, second year in a row, I did not get a chance to see panels this year. One of the reasons why is I got there at noon, so I missed a bunch of stuff. 2, I had lost my brochure little packet they gave me, that they hand out to everybody. I actually had lost that. I had searched my backpack thoroughly for that thing, and I couldn't find it. So eventually I went out of the exhibit hall, went down to the place where I came in, and lucky enough they still had plenty of those brochures. Thank God they still had plenty of those. There was one other thing I did pick up that I did get for free. If I can find it here. Yeah, there was one other thing I did get for free. What else here? Yeah, there was one other thing. Here it is. This is one thing I did get for free when I was there. It was a poster for the con. And, yeah, it's a nice looking poster. Yeah, this I got for free at the con. This nice looking poster. Would I hang out my wall? I don't know. I haven't decided yet about that. But it'd be a nice thing to hang up on there. Huh. Neil Adams. I just realized, though, I didn't notice this before when I picked this up. Apparently, Neil Adams signed these posters. That looks like his autograph. I don't know. It could be. Yeah, it kind of does look like Neil Adams' autograph. I mean, I don't know if it is or not, but... Oh, shoot. I kind of tore it, but... It's a little bit. It's not a problem, but... Yeah, so... Overall, I had a great time at Comic-Con. Got a lot of signatures. Pretty much anybody who I had books signed for, I actually really wanted those signatures. There was a few big people. The only people that are really big that were there were Dan Jurgens, Peter David, Neil Adams, and of course Bob Layton and Jim Shooter, and George Perez. Now, Jimmy Palmer and Connor, they're kind of big, but they're just very popular, but not that big as the other people were. Now, I have heard that George Perez does not charge for autographs. But there was a line. It wasn't that big of a line, but apparently you had to pull a number, and it was early this morning they pulled numbers, but I missed that. So, even though I got there late, still had a blast. Love being there. No one said anything about my shirt. Surprisingly, no one said anything. I did see some cosplays. Some of them are really weird. Like, I saw plenty of Harley Quinn cosplays. I saw a bunch of Jokers. I hardly saw any Jokers last year. Last year was a bunch of Harley Quinns and Deadpools. This year I saw maybe 2 or 3 people dressed up as Deadpool. A couple who dressed up as Batman. Like, mostly the most I saw this year was... the most was Joker and Harley Quinn. Those two were the big ones. I saw a couple people dressed up as Deadshot. I saw no one dressed up as Green Arrow this year, surprisingly. I did see somebody dressed up as Green Arrow 2 years ago. And Deathstroke. So at least I saw plenty of people dressed up as Deathstroke the past 3 years. That's one thing I have seen the past 3 years. Harley, I didn't see that much when I went there 2 years ago, but I did see plenty of them last year. So I saw a bunch of Harleys this year, a bunch of Jokers. I saw one person dressed up as Star-Lord. One person dressed up as Gamora. I saw someone walk around as Groot. I saw a few Spider-Man. Heck, I even saw somebody dressed up as Robin. I am not freaking kidding. I'm not kidding about that. There was somebody dressed up as Robin. Trying to think, was there any cosplay that I saw there? Didn't see any people dressed up as Spider-Gwen this year. I did see a couple. I did see one person dressed up as Spider-Gwen last year. I didn't see anyone this year. Let me think. Was there any other one? Oh, there was this really weird one with like maybe something from Silent Hill. Possibly, I don't know. One was like this guy with tubes on his head. Another one looked like he had a chainsaw for a hand. No, it wasn't Ash Williams, in case some of you are wondering. But some good cosplaying. But trying to think, was there any other one? I did see one person that was Green Lantern for some reason. Yeah, I saw one Green Lantern, surprisingly. I didn't. Now, there was one character I was kind of hoping some people might dress up as because he's in the movies now. Oh, I did see some Captain America. I did see some of that. I saw people dressed up as Spider-Man. One person dressed up as Iron Man. No one dressed up as hardly any of these characters were on my shirt. Trying to think, was there anybody else? The one I did not see there was no one dressed up as Deadshot. I would have thought because he's in the movies now, I would have thought maybe people would dress up as him, but I guess he's not that popular. So, yeah. So, that's my Tampa Bay Comic-Con 2016 haul. Please be sure to comment below, and you can ask me some questions if you feel like it, if there's anything I may have missed at Comic-Con. Be sure to like my video and subscribe to my channel until I do my next video, which I have a couple of Comic Corner classics / non-classics coming up. So those should be up those should be recorded up really soon. Probably next day or two I'll probably do that. So yeah, that's it. Next time. See you next time. Bye.